All right, so once you have uploaded all your video clips to Premiere Pro, the next step is to learn the basics. So I know just by seeing all these icons here, it can be a little intimidating at first if you're not familiar, but honestly, as long as you know the basics, shortcuts, things like that, that's all you really need to know. And these are all I really use majority of the time. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're here under the project tab, and let's create our sequence. So we go to File, New, then Sequence, and let's name it Main, as in main sequence. Okay, so you can see right here, this little icon that you see right here, that stands for sequence. So you can change the name if you want to right here, but we'll keep it at main. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is set up your settings for your sequence. So we'll go to Sequence, Sequence Settings, and we're going to go up to Custom. And for frames per second for your sequence, we're going to set it to 24 frames per second. The reason why is because when we were filming, the lowest frame rate that we're filming at was 24 frames per second, and we want to make sure that our export, when we export the actual final video, is going to play at 24 frames per second. So, for example, if you filmed and the lowest frame rate that you filmed for your clips was 30 frames per second, the lowest frame rate you're going to want to use is 30 frames per second. But since we filmed at 24 frames per second, we're going to use that for our export. Now, this is going to be the dimensions for our video, and we're going to set it to 1920 by 1080, and that is for high definition video. Next, for pixel aspect ratio, we're going to do square pixels 1.0, and all the rest of the settings are good to go, so press OK. So this is the screen here, like I like to say, the window for your actual video dimensions. Okay, so now that you have your sequence set, let's go over the basics. First, we'll choose just some B-roll clips to be examples here. Just drag it over. You might get this little notice here, this clip does not match the sequence settings, change sequence settings to match this clip settings. The reason why it says that is because this clip is shot in 4K. So that means it's larger. But when we export the video, we want to export it at 1080p. So we'll keep existing settings. Now you can see here that this clip does not fit right now within this window. So what we want to do is to make sure that it fits fully, we go to Effects Controls here, and all we have to do is scale it down to 50%. And as you can see here, the whole clip fits within the window. So now that we've done that, let's pick another clip here for the example. We'll go to workout. We'll just choose this as an example. Okay, you can see this was shot in 4K as well. So let's change the scale of this 50% to fit. Okay, so the first thing you should know is how to edit this clip, because obviously right now it's the whole raw clip and we only want a small portion of this clip. So we'll play it. So, you know, you heard my voice there. We don't want my voice in there. One way to cut it out is by simply dragging it to this point to where you want the clip to start. You can see that this is what the mouse cursor turns into this, and you're able to drag the clip on either side So let's see here. Okay, so let's say we want to stop it right there. Now you can either drag it to this point, or you can also cut it. To cut it, all you have to do is press C on your keyboard, and you can see that the mouse cursor turns into this icon. This is the cut icon. So all you have to do is click it right there, and you can see that it made a cut. Okay, and you can also make cuts anywhere you want to. So you can make a cut here, make a cut here, and to exit out of the cut, let's say you want to exit out, just press V, and that switches back to the main selection cursor. So let's say I want to delete that. I'm just going to drag that over and delete that. And let's say I just want this section. Okay, maybe that's not the most ideal selection that we want, but you get the picture. So let's say we want to copy this. Okay, so we want to copy this section right here. All you have to do is click on it, make sure it's all highlighted. The shortcut for this is Command C, and then click or bring this indicator to where you want the copy to start or to be pasted, and press Command V, and there you go. You have the same exact copy of this clip. Okay, so let's delete that. Now let's say we want to just cut this and then paste it somewhere else. To cut it is Command X, and let's say we want to paste it here in the beginning. We do Command V, and there we go, pasted. So let's say we accidentally delete that and we want to go back. All you have to do is press Command Z, and it goes back to your last action. So then there we go, we have this clip here. Now the next thing you want to do is go through transitions. Okay, now there's different ways you can do transitions, but let's just go over just the basic transitions you can do. So this is the second clip, and I'm going to bring this over. Okay, and let's go to transitions. This arrow right here allows you to drop down and see all these different options you have, and you can see here there's effects. So we are here in effects, and we'll go down to video transitions tab and go to dissolve. So you can see here you have all these different transitions. Honestly, I just use cross dissolve and dip to black most of the time. So in this case, you know, if we don't want to have just like a hard cut here, as you can see, maybe you want to fade it out and fade it in. So all you got to do is press and hold, drag it over, and there we go. We'll play it one more time. Okay. So now that you got that transition, you can also change the length of the transition, for example. Now, the reason why the transition is on this side of the clip is because we did the transition right at the very beginning of the raw clip. Let's just delete that transition. To delete the transition, all you have to do is just click on it and then delete. Now let's say we want to start right here for this clip. Okay, we'll bring it back and then do the transition again. Now you can see that it crosses both clips. So that's the reason why it does that, is because the transition, or you made the cut within like the middle of this clip. So now you can stretch it out and you can see that the fade in, fade out is longer. So let's delete that and let's try dip to black. Let's bring that over, bring it there, and there you go. And that's pretty much all you need to know in terms of transitions. You can play around with all the other transitions, get creative with it, but that's pretty much how you use transitions in that case. So the next thing we're going to go over is text. So you can see right here, type tool, press that, and you can see that the cursor changes to this text box tool. All you have to do is just click in this section here, and you can see that there's like this red space here. That means you're ready to type. So let's just say hello, okay? Now, right now, since it's still red around the letters, it's still in type mode. So you can keep typing as much as you want, okay? To exit out of that, click right here in the sequence and then press V. So now you're in selection mode. And you can click on the word that you have right here, and now you're in selection mode. So you can drag it anywhere you want within this window here and change the size of it, whatever you want to do. You can also see right here in the sequence, this is your text. So however long this is, that's how long it's going to be on your screen right here in this window. So you can see it's playing and then it disappears. There we go. So you can also go and change the font, change the size of the text. Right here it says text. Click this down where the arrow is, and you can see that here's the font. You can change the font, whatever you want. The size, this can be, let's say I want to change the font to Arial. All you have to do is click on this, double click, and then let's say Arial bold. There you go. Now to exit out of the right now you can still type. So if you want to stop typing and just go to selection, remember, click right here in the sequence and then press V. So now you're in selection mode. So you can play around with this, but that's pretty much all you need to know for the text. Now let's go over this source screen right here. You can actually make edits to your clips before you bring them into the sequence right here. So for example, let's go back to project. Let's choose a different clip here. All you have to do is double click on the clip and you can see right here, this is the whole raw clip. You can choose a certain section of the clip that you want and then drag it into the sequence. So all you have to do, let's say we choose this section. To choose your endpoint, you press the I key, and then your out point, let's say we choose that point, you press O on your keyboard. Now, if you want the whole clip with the audio, you can click on this, drag and drop. And there you go, there's your clip. Now it's big right here. Remember, go back to effects controls, scale, 50%, scale it down, and you're good to go, okay? Let's go back to the source here. Now, if you just want the audio of this clip or the video, these two icons right here let you choose either one. So let's say we want just the video. We click on that video icon, drag and drop, and there we go. It's the selection of just that video. All right, let's delete that. And then let's say we just want the audio, same thing, drag and drop. Now you just have the audio for that selected section. So this right here is your playback resolution, similar to this playback resolution here for your sequence. I like to keep at the lowest resolution, in this case 1/8 resolution, just because I'm dealing with higher resolution video clips, and it may look blurry right now in the playback, but when you export the video, it's going to be clear and crisp. The reason why we play it back at a low resolution is because it's easier on the editing software. It doesn't take a whole big toll on it, and it's able to play back the clips smoothly. So the next thing is this horseshoe right here in the sequence. So this horseshoe is a snap-in timeline. So what that means is, let's say I want to bring this right here. It just means that it's able to kind of like, it acts as like a magnet, and it's just easier, so you don't have to really try to get it precisely. It automatically kind of like magnetizes it into these cut areas. However, if you turn it off, you can see that you're able to put it precisely where you want it. It doesn't automatically go to these cuts, in comparison to if I were to turn it on and then it automatically jumps to, like, let's say this cut right here as I drag it across. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. Now, other than that, those are the basics that you need to know for your editing. So now that you know the basics, the next thing we're going to move on to is editing the interview portion of this video.